Welcome to Base Sunday, and we got a show for you. Hi again, everyone. I'm Frank Malika. We begin with our pitch. If you got a show idea out there, we'd love to hear from you. Go to facebook.com/Base Sunday, comment to the page, and we will get in touch. Let's get started. And as I mentioned, our opening guest is a big one. His name will forever be preceded by 6 words: the second man on the moon. He, along with Neil Armstrong and Michael Collins, piloted Apollo 11 to where no man has gone before. Still vibrant at 84 years young, the great Buzz Aldrin is looking beyond the moon now. His new book, The Mission to Mars, My Vision for Space Exploration. We are thrilled to have Buzz Aldrin with us this morning. So great to meet you, sir.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Well, it's nice not to be introduced as Edwin Aldrin Jr., which still a lot of people do, or born in Glen Ridge instead of Montclair.
You're a Jersey boy.
But I can tell you, I will always be introduced, just as you said, as the second man on the moon.
Well,
now, I got to say the most important thing is not always the most symbolic. The most symbolic, obviously, by the media and the people, is getting down the ladder and touching the soil and then saying something. That's pretty easy to do, but there's an order that has to be done. But by far the most difficult challenge we faced was the power descent. Without a successful landing, nobody goes outside.
Right.
President Kennedy, if you remember, said, I believe this nation should commit itself within the decade to landing a man on the moon and bringing it back safely. Didn't say anything about going outside or any of that. That was just added, and why not have 2? Like the buddy system, we've never had a spacewalk with 2 people. It's always been with one person, and that one person was usually in charge of the experiments to be done on the flight, not the commander. So the commander was not the EVA, the spacewalking person. So there was a faction of crew training people who felt that maybe that ought to govern 2 people going outside. And then, of course, there's the other group that has a sense of what are the American people going to think about and what is the news media going to crow about. And it's always who got the gold medal. But that's okay, because no way am I trying to change history.
No, I mean, you're an American hero. I am so thrilled. I've met a lot of people, a couple of presidents, but you're at the tippy top, because when I was a young man, I was 10 years old when you landed, and I had your picture and Neil and Michael Collins on my wall. We need more of that here in the United States.
Yes, we do.
We do.
I mean, maturing to the stage where you can now fly 7 people at a time in the shuttle, go to Earth orbit, and come back and take people from foreign countries. After a while, it's understandable that that's going to get a little routine. So was going and landing on the moon, as evidenced by Apollo 13. They had a press conference, and nobody paid attention to it until the oxygen tank exploded. Once that happened, then it became
big news,
big emergency.
Yeah.
And most people think it was a miracle, but the guys were on the ground were just doing their job that was expected of them.
Why Mars? You wrote a book, Mission to Mars. Why do you think it's important that we get there?
Well, we have to prove that, I think it was Sir Percival Lowell, thought there were canals on Mars. So we have to go there and prove that there aren't any canals. Now, that's a quote from my children's book that is a version of this. We didn't talk about that in here. There were 8 fundamental pieces of background information in chapters. What has been very significant to me is taking that information and putting it into what I now call evolutionary exploration sequence. From now until permanence, we have to do a number of things in low Earth orbit with asteroids, going to Mars, developing the spacecraft in an evolutionary way, so we learn how to build a facility on Mars.
Are we getting there, though? They've just shut down the shuttle system, and right now commercial rockets are feeding the space station. That must disappoint you.
The shuttle shut down itself with the second accident, and the accident board said, this is not a real safe machine, but I'll give you 7 years to come up with a replacement. Don't fly it past 2010. And that's what President Bush said. Finish the space station, retire the orbiter, build spacecraft, land on the moon by 2020. President Obama came in and flew it twice more. So he didn't kill the shuttle. Frankly, I'm one of the few people that that proposed closing the gap by flying the shuttle once a year. Probably not too good a thing to do, but at least it would not have put us in the pickle with one party pursuing commercial transportation and the other party wanting to cut it short.
I have to cut you off there. We're out of time, Buzz. There's so much we can talk. I know you're going to be this weekend in Alameda. You're going to go back to the Hornet. It's the very aircraft that picked you guys up, the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and that's going to be a thrill for you.
Okay.
Have you been back on the Hornet since?
Yeah. Let me take a couple of quick seconds. We need a limited relationship with China, low Earth orbit and beyond. It will help us be first by bringing people together without our landing on the moon. That saves a lot of resources. Then we use cycling spacecraft to build a space habitat on Mars, just like we do on the moon, just like we practice on the big island of Hawaii. So all of this kind of develops into the use of standardized spacecraft exploration modules for most everything that we do outward in space. One module.
Well, it's all in the book. It's fabulous. I can't tell you how thrilling it is to meet you, and thanks so much for coming in, Buzz. All the best.
See you tomorrow
on the Hornet.
On the Hornet?
God bless you. Thanks.
Jimmy Doolittle's Hornet.
There we go. And it picked you. I remember when you guys splashed down. If you'd like more information about Mission to Mars, my vision for space exploration, log on to buzzaldrin.com. That's buzzaldrin.com. Back with more Base Sunday right after the break. Stay there.